I got to go to the Houston Space Center, so here are some cool things from there. B, we have a lunar module, an actual one, LTA-HA. This was used in doing tests and ground tests in 1968, so that's really cool. And over here we have Pete Conrad's Apollo A7L spacesuit, which he wore on the moon on Apollo 12. So this has actually been worn to the moon. Next was the astronaut training facility. I only took pictures. This is where they had a bunch of mock-up spacecrafts. We then went to Rocket Park with the Little Joy 2 and Mercury Redstone rockets. Next was the massive Saturn V that took people to the moon from 1969 to 1972. It's absolutely massive, so I'm just gonna shut up as I walk all the way down it, so you can see just how massive it is. This command module is an actual command module meant for Apollo 19. And now I'm going to walk down the other side of the Saturn V, revealing all the information about the Apollo missions, including Apollo 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17.
From 10? Great job.
Shepard. We have a robot.
And this is a view inside the lunar module adapter panels. on the third stage. This is where the Apollo lunar module will go.
One of them is orbiting Earth, but it's in a really...
Next we have the inside of the actual space shuttle carrier aircraft. This was a modified Boeing 747-100 that can piggyback a space shuttle.
When John Kuiper proposed his piggybacking idea to NASA officials, they were skeptical.
We played some very bad landings and we banged up the wing.
By refining the models and test after test, John Kuiper and his team finally achieved success.
So we talked to our aerodynamics people and asked them what we should do.
Well, space shuttle is a very complex vehicle, probably the most that's ever been built.
There was a recognition that the increase in low speed airline testing in space and coming back from space and trying to fly
This is the midsection of the mock-up Space Shuttle Independence. This is where the crew would live for most of the mission. And this is the airlock. As you can see, there's a spacesuit in there. That's where you airlock. And you can see more of the area over here. Airlock. Here we are, enjoying this very nice view, about to enter the flight deck of the mock-up Space Shuttle Independence on the back of the real shuttle carrier aircraft. And here you can see we have a better view of the payload bay and the satellite inside. And here is the flight deck with the cockpit instruments and panels. You can see that silver stuff. That is radiator panels, which will be unfolded. You can see the cannon arm and lots of information boards. Next we have the mission control tour, which includes a presentation of what it was like when Apollo 11 landed.
Apollo 1. Flight final right on, real good. 2,000 feet, into the ag, 47 degrees. T1, stand by, T1. Tranquility Base here, the Eagle has landed. Roger, 20, Tranquility, we copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot. Although the surface appears to be very, very fine grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Down there, it's very fine. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Dear men from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the moon, July 1969, AD. Became indeed for all mankind.
For one priceless moment in the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done, and one in our prayers that you will return safely to earth.
And here we have a Skylab era flight suit. Over here we have a space shuttle, and here we have Skylab, or training mock-up of Skylab. Here's another space shuttle, and over here we have the only space shuttle launch escape suit, not in the Smithsonian. And then on the right of it is a 80s era operational suit, which is just a helmet. Over here we have a mock-up CSM, which is docked to the mock-up Skylab. Yeah, and soon I'll be going into the Skylab. So now I'm coming inside of Skylab. We've got the workstation area. We've got a guy doing a spin. This is where a lot of space in this space station. You can see I could do some pretty cool acrobatics with all this room. It's pretty cool. And in here we have the living dining area. And you can see some compartments. Oh, there's our own area. Shower. Yeah. That's about it in Skylab. There was some more, but you can't climb up there. Up here you can see a Skylab era astronaut going on a spacewalk using the adapted A7L suit. And over here we have the section on the Apollo-Soyuz test project, one of my personal favorites. We have some items over here, and we have a mock-up of how it was in orbit. Over here we have a training docking module. There's Tom Steffens reaching out to shake hands with Alexei Leonov. And down here we have a hatch. We have some equipment. And over here we have Deke Slayton's Apollo-Soyuz spacesuit. You can see it's a bit different from the other Apollo suits because there were no spacewalks on Apollo-Soyuz test projects. Yeah, very interesting. And down here we have the moon rock section. Over here we've got some moon soil and some moon equipment. Over here we have actual moon rocks from the Apollo missions. It's just crazy. All moon stuff. And over here you can touch a bit of moon rock. So I reached in and touched the moon rock. And now we're going down to the section on Apollo. Got some photos from Apollo. And over here we have a surface display of an Apollo mission. I'm pretty sure this is Apollo 16, judging by that science instrument. I don't think they carried that on 17 or any other mission. And you've got the lunar rover, and you've got the two astronauts. That is pretty cool, in my opinion. And now over here we have the Big 75. And here we have the Apollo 17 command module, America. This was the last spacecraft to send crew to the moon. There's Gene Cernan there. Yeah, this really is a piece of history. This is the actual spacecraft of Apollo 17, the actual command module. And here we have a display on the space race. And up here, you may see it there, this is the Gemini 5 space capsule. You can see you've got a Gemini pilot spacewalking, and the command pilot is inside, just like in real missions. Unfortunately, Gemini 5 actually didn't feature a spacewalk. It was just an endurance test. There's a stand, I'm not sure if it's a replica or not, of Kennedy's moon speech. You've got some stuff there. And here you have a spacesuit like the one Ed White wore on his famous second ever spacewalk and first ever American spacewalk. I think it might just have been a trainer, but I'm not quite sure. And over here we have Robert Goddard's first rocket, also the first ever liquid fueled rocket in existence. Over here we have a model, well, full-size replica of Explorer 1, first American satellite, 1958. And over here we have the Aurora 7 space capsule that carried Scott Carpenter over in the second ever American orbital mission. So yeah. And over here we have an actual Falcon 9 first stage. This flew on 2 flights, being reused, of course, as most Falcon 9 first stages are. You see the landing leg for the 991D engines. And fun fact, the Falcon 9 is actually named after the Millennium Falcon, and the fact that the first stage has 9 engines. And that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed going to the Houston Space Center.